um, if you followed and you saw what the president wrote, his major concern is there are so many issues that are affecting access to justice that he feels the Chief Justice should take note of and should pay more attention to. And these are the requests, this is the cry he has been making, has been doing. Of course, representation on all these committees and bodies is where we air some of our grievances, our positions, to also guide and assist. But his issue is we have a lot of issues that that affect access to justice. We have incompetence in judiciary, we have poor distribution of resources. Take an example what is happening in Masaka. We have corruption in the judiciary, we have case backlog, we have people rotting in prisons because of a lot of pretrial detention, and all these require reforms. We have issues where cases take so long in court, and the judiciary that is supposed to be at the head, at the top of it, in as far as ensuring that justice is delivered, is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And he's saying, well, these are the major issues for that we need to discuss, but we keep pushing them aside. So the communication clearly is saying that, look, I believe as an individual you need to pay more attention to these things. We've been saying them day and night. We keep talking about this, and I'll not settle, I'll not keep quiet until I see reforms being made, I see a change. And as the Chief Justice, you have a say. You can make a stand. You're the head of the judiciary, have the power to make sure things improve, but you're not doing that. So for that reason, I'm not going to come and appear on this committee, but because it is an important committee, it is important for law society to participate and to be represented. The Vice President will clearly represent our views, and he's able to deliver. But as an individual, I'm focusing on the fight for this. I'm focusing my energies on this, and this is what he has been saying right from the beginning. It's not anything new. It's an issue of fighting for reforms and changes in the judiciary to ensure that they perform and they deliver their mandate of ensuring that there is delivery of justice to the people of the country.
So you take on this, you're not being forwarded for take on this position. Are you taking it on, or you're still in this position of the president?
No, listen, even the communication was very clear. It says no, let Vice President handle that. I will not sit there, but let the Vice President sit there. And the office of the presidency is, people should stop individualizing it. It's an office, it's not an individual. It doesn't mean that Masaka has to be the one to come and sit. Any other person can come and put and deliver the mandate or deliver the position of the Ugandan society. And it is his belief, and we agreed as council, that some of these committees, everyone has, we call it division of labor, distribution of labor, work together as a team. That is why I said no, as a person I will not come, but the Vice President will appear. And I have actually been appearing on most of these judiciary committees, and that was the position right from the beginning. I've been appearing there, I've been representing the Ugandan society, and even for that very one, communication had earlier been made that I should appear, I should represent the society. So his concern really is not saying it is bad to represent Ugandan society on the Law Reform Committee, but his concern is, for me, as I focus on this, let another member of the Radical New Back Council, let another member, the Vice President, who also works in the office of the presidency, represent us and represent our views.
Could the Chief Justice not be aware that the President is not in the country to give him such an appointment?
Of course, everyone is aware, because the reason he's not in the country aware, it's because of the judiciary, it's because of judicial officers who have, delivered, who have, we call it, who have been weaponized, because it's an issue of, President calls it persecution, because if someone has a sentence of 2 years to be serving in prison and he's not in prison, there's no way, and you're not seeing him in the country, there's no way you expect him to be around, or to be, if you are in the country, that means he would be in prison, because that is what they wished, that is what they planned, and that was the position. But his being away is an open secret which everyone knows because of that.
Could the position be trapping him into an arrest that he can come back and sign up the
Well, I mean, he's the president of the Ugandan society. It is a bigger position, so I don't think that would really be something that would pull him or bring him back, because what I know is principally by law, they know the president is supposed to be a member of that committee. And what is being skipped is the fact that, okay, much as we need him to sit on this committee, he's not around. Probably what I believe should have been done was, since we need the president on these important committees, we need to put aside all these issues. We need to to have this, to stop persecuting him. We need him around. He's supposed to be part of these committees. It is important. But you cannot again say, I'm inviting you to come for a party or for such a meeting when you and I cannot appear, and the reason I'm not appearing is because of people in your office.
Do you think the Chief Justice appointment was in good spirit? Or
I don't really want to speak for the Chief Justice. I want to believe that as the office of the Chief Justice, that is being done really as a matter of policy, as a matter of law, because it is automatic that the President has to sit. ULS has to be represented, and the representation should be President. So I believe these communications and many more others are there. And even when you look at the letters we receive here, most of them are addressed to the President, whether they're from government departments or from private, but people know he's not around. But all these letters are addressed to the President.
Recently, the President assented to the UPDF Amendment Bill 2025, and it is now passed into law. What is the stand of ULS?
That varied, I think, on the 16th. We did give our position through a statement I issued, and we're very clear. We do not agree with that law, especially the part of trying civilians in military courts. We've been speaking about this. Even before the President assented to it, we still had a position. We advised the President against signing that bill into law. Of course, he went ahead and signed it as expected, and we also made it clear that just like though we challenged, our predecessors in 2005 challenged the UPDF Act when it was brought in when it was the very first one, especially that part of trial civilians in military courts. We also say at this moment, we are not going to sit back and watch the rule of law being trampled on. We're going to court, we are going to challenge this law, and we shall make sure it does not see the light of day. Maybe the only thing we say now is call upon the judiciary to also do their duty, because we've had challenges here where we file matters in court and they spend years. So we feel this law should not be brought back. The Constitutional Court was clear, as well as the Supreme Court, that there should be no trial of civilians in the military courts under whatever circumstances. But we see this amendment bill trying to bring back the same vice that was cured by the Supreme Court in Michael Kaba's Guruka. So our stand is that we do not agree with it. We shall challenge it. We are ready with our pleadings. We are going to court, and we are calling upon the judiciary once we file this matter to ensure, because it's a matter of public importance, this is an issue everyone should be interested in, including the judiciary. We are challenging that law. The moment it is gazetted, we will have our case filed in court to challenge its constitutionality, because it is unconstitutional. It is not in line with the provisions of the Constitution, and it will lead to total abuse of human rights and the rule of law in this country.
Like it was when the Attorney General seek for an injunction in the matter of the Grupa Court. Could the same happen for you to seek for an injunction for the same act that was?
That's what we intend to do, and we shall do whatever is within our means, through legal means. That's why I said now our option is now turning back to the judiciary, whom we call upon to ensure that the main focus should be upholding the rule of law and protection of humans, of citizens, because that is their duty. The offices they carry to represent or to ensure they protect the citizens of this country, especially in matters of rule of law. So, like you said, we intend to take all the legal measures possible through litigation to challenge that law, and we call upon the judiciary once again to be at the top of that game, because like you said, we file these injunctions. We've had cases here. You saw our president's case the other day being adjourned to August, just a simple application of stay. So we do not want to see this happen, and that is why we are doing everything within our means to ensure that we protect the citizens of this country, because it is within our mandate as a Ugandan society.
Last thing, the issue of Masaka, where the judiciary have not deployed judges to superintend over cases in the region, where does it leave the people?
What you see in Masaka, what has happened is, a result of, it's just a symptom of what is happening across the country. It's not only Masaka. It's just that the Masaka lawyers have stepped up. They've come up to say, no, we must fight. We must fight for our autonomy. We must fight for access to justice. We must fight. The people in Masaka are not receiving what they should be receiving. They're supposed to get justice. You cannot have one judge in an area where you have over 4,000, 5,000 cases, and you have one judge to preside over them. So what we are saying, and as Ugandan society, we do support, we are behind the Masaka members. We know the impact this is going to have, even in these few days. But again, at the end of the day, we're looking at a long-term impact. Because if you try to engage and you're not getting results through engagement, that's why they believe now we need to take another action, we need to take a radical move, we need to take a radical action. Maybe this is when the people will listen to us. Because if they are the voices of the people, and their voices are not being heard, maybe the people themselves have not come out. So the moment it is pressing them as well, the politicians, the court users, and other affected individuals, we're even saying it's also it's not healthy for one judge to sit down and handle all those cases. Even judicial officers are human beings. So all we are saying is there needs to be some kind of accountability and transparency in these deployments. You cannot look at a station and like Masaka, which is one of the busiest, and there's one judge. Then we also have other stations which probably have more judges. We know there's a shortage of judges. But again, how do we fight? This also goes on to call on to the government. How are you budgeting? What are the priorities? Because they will tell you, even when you find 5 judges at a station, they are not enough. But are we able to consult while distributing the resources, in the distribution of the resources? Are we able to consult? Is the judiciary consulting the members of the public and other stakeholders? Are being consulted when you're going to, to deploy? Recently, we got new judges appointed, but all of them were taken to other stations. Now, these guys have had a cry since last year. They've met the members of the judiciary, they've written, and they've promised them, and nothing has been done. So they feel, even when we are there going to court, we're just going to court to adjourn cases while even going there. Even the clients are not getting justice. So does it make sense to continue going there? Because they do not see anyone taking action, even when they've complained. They do not see the responsible people being accountable and taking charge of this and taking it as a priority. So this is a way of communicating, say, listen, we need to have this issue attended to. It is an issue of public importance. And if there's any Ugandan anywhere who looks at this issue of Masaka as a joke or as something that is not important, then that person has a big, big problem. Because it's not just Masaka. It begins with Masaka, but next day it will be somewhere. And that is just a symptom of what is happening across the country, especially in that issue of, delivery of justice. And we feel, as members of the bar, where we speak for the members of the public, what is in Masaka is not, it's just a mockery of justice. We should not just have buildings standing there and then we say, we have court, we are delivering justice. It has to be actual justice. People have to see that justice is being delivered, but not just come and say, we have a high court here, there's a judge, so there's justice in Masaka. No. So we feel a lot has to be done. The autonomy of lawyers has to be protected because the lawyers are fighting for their autonomy. If the work conditions, clients right now, it's hard for a lawyer in Masaka to take instructions because the client will come and that's why you're asking me for money. I gave instructions last year. My case has only moved once. It is hard to explain to them that you see the problem is where is court. They look at you as lawyers as the problem. And what will happen at the end of the day, people will begin taking matters into their hands. I know you can have other alternative dispute mechanisms like ADR, but the common person might not understand that. They will say, why should I even go to court? When I know when I go there, I will not get justice. Why can't I get a solution myself? And then we shall have a total degeneration of the rule of law in this country, which is a very dangerous trend.
The legislature here has made a statement that lawyers in the Masaka region are playing ping pong to delay justice in some cases. Could it be anywhere true?
No, it is absurd for a person to make such a comment. These people want to work. These people have been there. They are showing you the history. No one is stupid enough to come and say, I do not want to go to court and work. It cannot take all the lawyers over 25 in the region to come and say, no, here there's a problem. That's why I started by saying, if anyone thinks this is a joke, if anyone takes this as an issue of, trying to politicize it or, take it as something very simple, that where they are maybe just joking around, then that person is not serious. It's high time we sat back and reflected and looked at, because this is just like, it is like a tip of the iceberg. There's a reason as why it has happened. These people are not mad to say we've woken up one day and we are saying we are not going to court. That is where they work, that is their work. That is, they don't get hose and go to dig. They wake up every morning going to work and they are telling you their problems. Every time we wake up, we go to court, nothing is being done. We're just going out to adjourn cases. We have, and then the numbers keep increasing. So at the end of the day, what are you doing? If you cannot protect your workplace, because that's where you work, then what are you doing? And we've been saying it's okay for the lawyers to come up. They called upon the leadership to help them and support them, and we're saying as the leadership, as council, we are giving you all the support you need to make all the other necessary engagements to ensure that the situation is dealt with. But then again, like I said, let this not only be about Masaka. Let's have the powers that be get a bigger picture, comprehensive picture of how to solve some of these issues, because it's going to cause problems if we do not resolve things that are begin as simple. These people have engaged. They saw letters, I saw petitions of last year, November. They met the principal judge then, and they had all these engagements. It's not like they've not had the engagements, but unfortunately other people have left this fight for them. Politicians don't look at it as important, and you wait when the election period comes and all of them are running now to court to get injunctions and orders, and they know judicial officer to hear their cases. That's when they will come up saying, because now at that point it has affected them. But right now, because the people feel it is not affecting them, they are the only ones who will come and speak and make such a statement that these lawyers are playing ping pong.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.